things you're going to need a screwdriver, and obviously unplug the computer. You'll want to put it on a firm flat surface. Table is better. When you turn the computer to the back, there's going to be a couple of screws on the side panels. The screws are missing here, but one will be on top, one will be at bottom. Sometimes there's one in the middle. You'll take those screws out. Both of the sides of the computer might come off, but you only need one. Once you take those screws out, just pull off this panel on the side. And you can remove that. Don't do what Abby's doing. Alright. Inside of your computer is going to look a lot like this, except you're probably going to have more stuff up here. Some of that stuff's been taken out. This is your PSU, your power supply unit. This is a small one. Most of them are about twice this long, but they're all the same. Typically, they screw in through the back here. There will be 4 screws, one in each corner, and all you have to do is take those out. Before you do that though, keep in mind, static electricity, computers don't like it. Keep at least an arm or a hand or something along the edge of the case, so that way if there is any static electricity built up in you, it's discharged through the case. Wires, scary. You want to manipulate yourself around any wires, and all you're worried about is the ones coming out of the PSU. But you want to keep note of what exactly these are going into. There's different kinds of connections. There's these 4-pin connections. There's a smaller 4-pin connection. And sometimes they leapfrog onto other connections. Just go ahead and unplug all those. Down here,
take the crayon.
And hopefully there's no crayons in your computer. Down here, you'll see that there's a 4-pin connection going into the motherboard and a larger connection going into the motherboard. And they have clips on them sometimes so that they don't move out of place. On this model, the clip is right here. Just push that clip in so that it releases and then pull it right out. The big one may or may not have a clip. If it does have a clip, it'll be on the back. Once you've disconnected the power cords, remember not to touch anything inside if you don't have to. Just unscrew these. Unscrew the power supply unit from the case. Don't lose your screws. Not that it'll matter anyway, because you'll get new screws with your new power supply. Okay. Keep static discharge. Just loosely pull this thing out, gently. Make sure you're not knocking anything inside the computer. And there it is, power supply unit. If you'll look inside the grill on yours, you might even see black areas where it's obviously run its life and it's just worn out. When you get your new one, you're going to do the opposite. You're just going to slide it right in. All of the placeholders for the screws are pretty standard for all PSUs that you can buy. And even if they're not, if there's only 2 or 3 holes, you don't have to fill every hole, just as long as it's secure to the case. So you'll put that supply in, and like I said, it might not be the same color, the same shape, or anything like that. All you need to worry about is how many watts is it, and can you screw it in here. You'll notice on here, this power supply had a couple of 4-pin connections, and it had a small one. Small ones will go on little drives, the floppy drives. Floppy drives are an old technology, they're going away.
Oh, a Nilla wafer.
Oh, got a Nilla wafer. Nice.
Don't let her eat that.
Anyhow, smaller drives like this one here will have a power supply that they need connected. And it'll just slide on right here. All you got to do is make sure that every piece of hardware has its own power going to it. You'll have a DVD drive that'll take one of the bigger 4-hole 4 pins. The motherboard, you'll need to make sure that you buy a power supply unit, this is the hard part, that matches the pins in your board. Also pretty standard though. If you buy a cheaper model PSU, you'll probably be getting one of the older connections that you need. But still, usually not a problem. They're pretty universal. Alright, when you get your PSU out, you'll want to look on it. It's going to have a bunch of information on here. And what you're looking for is, back it up so it's not so blurry.
It doesn't,
okay.
It can't move it.
It'll say somewhere on there, max output power or however many watts this thing will produce. This one is a 200 watt. Whatever's in your computer now, you want to get that or better. And so you can't get too much because it will only give as much power to the computer as the computer asks for. But you can't get too little. If you get too little, then the computer won't run at all. And after you get the power supply put back in, you'll want to make sure that you put the part where you plug it into the wall into the right position. Upside down. Just like that. Screw it back in. Plug your connections back in where they were in the motherboard. Then you'll put your cover back on. Move, Abby. Abby. Screw the cover back on, hook it back up, done.